How's everybody? My name is Cash. You know I'm coming back to you. I told you I was gonna read a few chapters out of my book. I was gonna read all the same day. Y'all can forget that. We gotta spread this out. I send my condolences out to people's families who somebody had passed away from this crazy virus. Listen, be safe out there. It's just real crazy. It's a big conspiracy. That's a whole nother book. All right, let's get into something. First, I got to deal with this situation here that's been killing most of the founding fathers because we're trying to figure out how in the world that they established that the hip hop culture started when Kool Herc had his party over here in Sedgwick Avenue somewhere. I don't know where y'all get that information from. But let's go back and let's deal with that because that's a whole total another lie. All right. All right, I'm going to this one of my chapters called The Park Parties. All right. Last time I seen and talked to Kool Herc was in 1979. When me, Devon, him, and old man Lele, DJ Lele, was standing outside the high school on Fordham Road in the Bronx. I got distracted by an old girlfriend I didn't see in about a year, and I stepped off and told him and Lele that I would see them later. I never got to see Kool Herc again because I got caught up in some other stuff, and that's a whole nother story. In 1979 was the first time that park parties was coming to an end in the Bronx. The reason for this was because the B-boys was all grown up and no longer needed ID to get into the clubs. The B-boys and hip-hop culture was officially accepted on the set of the world. The reason for this chapter is to clear up the belief that 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the South Bronx is the birthplace of hip-hop, where Kool Herc created the art of mixing records and scratching records. Yes, Kool Herc created this art at the community center. However, the hip-hop birthplace is not on Sedgwick Avenue. Nowhere near it. All right? The establishment of DJing, mixing, and scratching was birthed at the community center. But the birthplace of the culture was in the heart and soul of the B-boys. Remember that. It was in the heart and the soul of the B-boys. All right? Who created their dancing style by watching martial art movies on 42nd Street in Manhattan for $1. The culture was birthed by all of us who ran around together from all over the Bronx, which were young gang members who went downtown to 42nd Street to get away from going to school. The young boys on Sedgwick Avenue were just some of the young boys who were down with us. Period. Right? Kool Herc didn't establish hip hop at that party. Kool Herc invented a way to give the B-boys more dance time at the parties because most of us couldn't dance any other dance but what we had created. People, you got to understand something. Kool Herc knew that the youth in the community center always got live when breaking beats came on in the records. Kool Herc seen that he needed to make the breaking beats longer so the B-boys could party or the whole party would have been a waste of time. The party was for the youth. But if the youth only danced on those breaking records, then the party was a waste. Kool Herc started using the double records to remix the breaking beats. Then he started scratching the records to make it sound better. You got to remember the mixing didn't come out to about 72, and that was from an engineer that was down with Studio 55 or something like that, 54 and all of them. See, so Kool Herc just got that little mix thing later on. They got that whole mix thing engineered from somewhere else. All right, but we was b-boying and partying way before Kool Herc they even had a mixer. All right, so let's get that straight. All right. Okay, Kool Herc knew of our culture before he came to the community center because he knew the old gang members who we was around. When we partied amongst ourselves, he seen us breaking the streets of the Bronx from the music from our boom boxes. From our boom boxes, do you understand this shit? This before the mixes was even out there. We had boom boxes. All right. He came up with the idea for mixing the records way before he came to the community center. He got the idea from our mixed 8-track tapes. Do you understand? See, some of y'all wasn't even born when they had mixed when they was mixing 8-track tapes and reel-to-reels. So we was mixing and cutting tapes before we was doing our own independent tape mixing way before this dude even had a center even doing mixing. Before they even had a mixer even designed yet. All right. When we recorded records, we just recorded the breaking beats. so we could dance to them over and over again. All right, all these breaking beats came from different records. Kool Herc created a way of doing the same thing in parties by using two of the same records, two turntables, and mixing the records into each other. This was after the guy, like I told you, that was down in Studio 54 in one of them big clubs. That was an engineer. He was a DJ, but he was an engineer, and he came up and created the mixer. Okay, now that was like 72 somewhere in there. All right. Okay. He knew what we wanted to hear way before he got to the community center. He found a creative way to give it to us and change the game for DJs to be a part of the B-boys and our dance culture. You understand that? He opened the door for his people that was DJ to get down with us. All right? It's like this. All right? I'm talking outside of the book. But it's like this. Who came first? The egg or the chicken? See, in this case, it's like saying, who came first, God or the chicken? God created the chicken. And it's the same thing with us. The B-boys created everybody else. All right? So you're giving people credit that they was after the fact. If it wasn't for it, they wouldn't even be existing. So let's put a stop to that nonsense. Let's get back to the chapter. He knew what we want way before before he got to the community center. He found a creative way to give it to us and change the game for DJs to be a part of the B-boys and our dance culture. Herc opened the door for DJs to be a part of our culture. But the culture itself already existed way before that day on Cedric Avenue in the community center in 1974 with Kool Herc. Way before. All right? We talking about 71, 72. You understand? Easily. All right? Kool Herc did not create the hip-hop culture. Hip-hop culture made Kool Herc. Let's go there. Let me read that over again so y'all can get that clear. Kool Herc did not create the hip-hop culture. The culture created Kool Herc. All right? The B-boys are the center and the beginning of the hip-hop culture, and everything and everybody was made by us. Remember that. All right? If you want to really know the birthplace of hip-hop, then you will have to say the martial art movies on 42nd Street. Those movies are the ones who influenced the youth, kids from the Bronx who watch Soul Train every Saturday morning on TV. They came up with their own fighting dance styles that gave